Hi everybody, Tom here. Yeah, as you can see, Chris is gone, but that's mainly because we saw Spider-Man Homecoming, and from most of the vlogs that we've made, he's made it very vocal. He is not a Marvel fan at all. So he decided to sit out this one. I can't blame him and you can't blame him either, because honestly he would spend most of the time complaining. So yeah, he let me borrow his camera. I went to see it for him. This is actually something I wanted to do for Fast and Furious 8, but I wasn't able to work it out with him time-wise to pick up the documentation. But yeah, I actually was sort of looking forward to this because I am a fan of Spider-Man, and oddly enough, I'm a fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans in particular. I have seen a lot of the first one, but not like start to finish, but enough to know what's going on. I didn't see the second one of The Amazing Spider-Mans. I didn't see the second one because of all the bad press that it got, and for like Andrew Garfield and too many villains. Apparently someone didn't learn their lesson. But yeah, with Spider-Man being in this connected Marvel universe, it does open possibilities. But yeah, I'm going to get into a bit of the disappointment that I felt in this movie. Yeah, I didn't think it was that good. Definitely not 92% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. But the thing is, it does have an interesting premise going into it. Yeah, what's different about this premise-wise compared to the other Spider-Mans is that this Peter Parker is in early high school. Like, I think they say he's a sophomore, he's 15 years old. That's relatively young compared to the other Peter Parkers that we have seen, where they've been senior in high school, about to graduate into college, going into college, sorry. So yeah, a young Peter Parker who's still in the Stark internship from the end of Civil War is now trying to translate into your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, because he's been handed down his suit from Civil War by Tony Stark. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. is a major player in this, much to some chagrin. And also, Peter Parker, he's actually going up against an interesting villain. He's going up against the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, who we see is built up later in this movie as an actual threat. And he actually looks really cool, too. And honestly, that's just the basic premise. Peter Parker is trying to prove himself to Tony Stark while also tracking down this arms dealer. He isn't vocally known as the Vulture, even though he's credited as it in the credits. He's trying to hunt him down, trying to stop his arms dealings, while also trying to keep a secret identity, and also, yeah, just try and function in the real world as just pretty much a pawn in the daily scheme of life. Now, what was good about this for me, again, was the villain instead of the hero, and I'll talk about that in a second. The villain, Michael Keaton, he's actually really good in this. He's having somewhat of a, well, oddly enough, Robert Downey Jr. come back with his acting career, and all of the good films that he's chosen recently, being Birdman, Spotlight, and now being in a mainstream comic book movie. Huge props to him. He's on one of the biggest upward spirals ever. Also, the villain's backstory is explained incredibly well. Not even necessarily through explaining, but just showing him and his cleanup team were assigned to Stark Tower in New York after, I think, the events of the Avengers, because there's Chitauri energy sources that are in the weapons that were destroyed from that gigantic battle in New York. And also, But some department called damage control is assigned to clean everything up, government based, blah, 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 blah. Guess who's behind those? Tony Stark. Yeah, and...
Tom, open the door.
Hi, Chris. What are you doing here?
Open the door.
Why should I open the door?
Because I saw this movie. Let me rant about it.
Damn it. So yeah, I lied.
Hey everyone, bet you didn't think I'd be in this. Well, you know what? You can rest easy because I'm pretty sure this is probably the last Marvel movie I'm ever going to watch. In theaters, at least.
Yeah.
Fuck this movie. Oh, and you know what? A lot of people think that I'm just really trying my damnedest to keep my sort of anti-Marvel motif. I really wanted to like this movie, as well I do any movie, really. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes ever. He's my favorite Marvel superhero, at least. He's tied with Batman as, you know, favorite superhero ever. This movie just tries its damnedest to get you to hate Spider-Man. It really does. It tries to make you think he is a worthless superhero that needs help from the real superheroes, and by real I mean Tony Stark. Because God forbid any superhero in this whole universe do anything without Tony.
Ugh. I agree that Tony Stark... The entire MCU is almost known as just the Tony Stark show.
The Robert Downey Jr. show featuring the Avengers. Maybe.
Even with... Well... Do you think he still tries to take the spotlight of Captain America as well?
Yes. Yes, because his actor is not nearly as popular.
Chris Evans?
Yes.
Well, he's on the uprise, at least.
He is. I mean, I really like Chris Evans, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have the same sort of...
But fuck how he's used in this movie.
Oh, okay. And I like too, the way he's used this movie is stupid in and of itself, but they point out why it's even more stupid. Okay. What we're talking about is that in this movie, there are these like school lesson videos you remember seeing. These are done by Captain America himself
in the old like red, white, and blue suit instead of the Winter Soldier suit.
Right. Which kind of goes against his character, because I'm pretty sure he said he didn't like doing this kind of stuff, being like put up as this sort of symbol rather than an actual, active hero.
Then again, those videos could have been recorded before he went rogue or whatever he did.
Right. Well, okay, but there's the problem. They straight up say, I think he's a war criminal now, but we're going to show them anyway. No, that's not how this works. You don't, if he's supposed to be a war criminal, you don't still show the videos like he's some kind of role model now. That's like having
Osama bin Laden.
No, not even that. Not even that. It's like after Bill Cosby was called a serial rapist, and then having a marathon of all the Bill Cosby show episodes. It's like,
this guy's a rapist,
a serial rapist, but hey, at least he had a cool show, right? we're supposed to show it. Sorry, we have a contract. No, that's not how this works. Fuck. All right. Let me go into a little more detail, because I understand I was a little crushed for time on my sort of mini review of Wonder Woman. I mean, our one singular fan, hello Al, he did not appreciate it that much. So let me go into a little more detail here. The opening of this movie, at least after we're introduced to our main villain, Michael Keaton as Vulture. I'll talk more about him later. But after that, we get what is essentially a selfie vlog of Peter Parker's adventures in the movie Civil War. The movie
Fun times with Spider-Man. Now your new title instead of Spider-Man Homecoming, which is really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Because they don't even acknowledge, like, whatever homecoming is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's just the high school dance.
So the fact that he's doing this not only instills the fact that this guy's a loser, which isn't really the feeling I want from Spider-Man. I can accept that as Peter Parker if this was just his Peter Parker persona, but this is they take it a step further by actually having him record selfies
During the
fight in Civil War with the suit against Ant-Man, Captain America, and all those other people. During the fucking fight, he was recording a selfie video. Again, it is just designed to get you to hate Spider-Man, to make you think, wow, what a fucking loser. I'm sure glad this guy's not on the Avengers. And I never want to feel that feeling. I never do. Okay, so after that bullshit, we go back to New York. We're reminded that Aunt May is now is like a 20-year-old woman.
And I think they try and pass her off as like a 55 or 60-year-old cougar. Because she's played by Marissa Tomei, who is old but good looking.
Yeah, so
instead of old silver-head granny from Sam Raimi, but
I'm not gonna get too pissy about that. I mean, it's annoying to me, but it's not. Again, there's far more other things I'm mad about in this movie.
Yeah.
But after that, we see Spider-Man essentially doing his thing. You know, he goes around the neighborhood helping with minor discrepancies and everything, stopping minor crimes and everything, and he tries to call Happy because yes, everyone loves Happy. Let's bring him back.
Let's push him and have his own movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
Happy.
Fuck. At this point, he might as well get his own movie. Who the fuck cares about Happy? Why are you pushing this character on us? I hated him in Iron Man 3. I hate him here.
I just thought he had no effect here.
He didn't. Really. He's just there to remind you that nobody likes Spider-Man. Why? Because he's a stupid kid. Nobody likes stupid kids. Okay, so the majority of what this movie is Peter Parker trying his damnedest to prove himself to Tony Stark and the world, I guess, that he is an Avenger. He absolutely can be put up there with the Hulk and Thor and Iron Man and all the whole team and everything, but he's held back because he's a stupid kid, which the only reason he's a stupid kid is because he's written that way. Really, my problem with this kind of this version of Spider-Man that we're getting versus all the others is that they make him so worthless. And that was my problem with him in Civil War as well, is that they turned him into Tony Stark's little bitch. And I'm not exaggerating that. Really. He can't do a fucking thing in this movie without Tony Stark.
The only thing that he does in the movie by himself is the Washington Monument scene. The
Washington Monument and the final confrontation. Those are the two things in this movie he does.
He has to be saved by Tony twice.
Yes. And he gets scolded because he has to be saved by Tony because, well, God forbid a superhero do superhero things, I guess.
That is also weirdly contradicting because he's still... the movie wants to show that, he's got motivation, he's overzealous, and he actually wants to do stuff. But he's young, he's still, like, fragile, he can't fix everything, even though everyone is scolding him for...
not being able to do that.
But with the audience then saying, no, he can, let him try. Like, really, you're trying to make all this different kind of confrontation result in those different, like...
It's very... there's mixed messages.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's mixed messages.
Now, when he was introduced in Civil War, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, when he was introduced in Civil War, the thing I hated most is when his introduction was basically him trying to pick his tongue up off the floor from fanboying all over. Tony Stark is in his house and he's recruiting him and everything when it's mostly just, oh my God, Tony Stark, I love you. And it's like, yeah, shut up, kid. You work for me now. I hated that bit, but even more is the design of the character overall. Here's one thing that drew me to the character Spider-Man in the first place. Like as a kid and even as an adult, something that I do find to be really cool is that when he's Peter Parker, he's a loser. He doesn't have any friends. Nobody thinks much of him. He's just the nerdy nobody. Then when he puts on the Spider-Man suit and everything,
he's everything.
He's everything. He's the badass one-liner slinging, bad guy stomping, awesome superhero. Okay, the kind of person that everybody wanted to be. Okay, so I really don't want to compare this much to the Sam Raimi films because fuck it, whatever. That's one thing I really liked in the Sam Raimi films that they got down. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker was a loser, but as Spider-Man, he was badass.
And also, personally, that's what I see as the epitome of loser swung into into badass superhero. Something that Kick-Ass fucking failed to do. But we're getting off topic.
Yeah. So when we moved over to Andrew Garfield, my problem with their portrayal of Spider-Man was that as Peter Parker, he had this sort of too cool for school attitude. He was
already too much of a smart ass and was full of his own shit.
Yeah. So there wasn't as much of a cool transition to when he actually became Spider-Man. When he was Spider-Man, he was fine, but when he was Peter Parker, something was just off about the whole thing, and it didn't have as, like I said, as cool of a transition. Now that we're on to Tom Holland, we have the exact opposite problem, where now he's a wimpy ass wiener boy loser as Peter Parker, as he pretty much should be, but then as Spider-Man, he's essentially the same thing. We have a wimpy ass wiener boy worthless superhero.
Examples of bad superheroing.
Okay, when he gets out of school for the first time in this movie, he spends the whole movie trying to get out. What does he do the moment he jumps out the door? He jumps 30 feet into the air over the fence just to get out of there as fast as he could. Okay, why is that so retarded? Because everyone could see you, kid. Most people probably saw you do that. The school probably has security cameras. That's not a good thing because they're going to figure out, wow, something's really up with this kid. And then
he's not conspicuous.
He's not conspicuous in the slightest. And I know in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, we kind of go back and forth between being, whether someone cares about their secret identity and whether someone doesn't. Most of the time they do. Tony Stark was just the only one that said, fuck it to the whole thing.
Fuck it, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah. But in the case of Peter Parker, it is absolutely something that I think he would hold value, and he says it multiple times in this movie.
Yeah, he said, that I don't want to stress out my Aunt May.
It's something that he does value in this movie, and yet he makes really asinine decisions that would blow his cover completely. He uploads videos to YouTube.
Other people upload videos to YouTube.
No, he did. He uploaded videos to YouTube.
That's debatable because I think most of the other videos that he was looking at were fan videos.
Okay, but then when he's watching the video, maybe this was just a mistake from the movie, but when he's watching the video on YouTube, it shows all the settings and everything as if he's the one who uploaded it. The options, the editing options, the annotations, all that stuff, the stuff that shows up as if it's your account that you uploaded this video from.
If I have the misfortune of seeing this again, I'll look for that one detail.
I swear it's in there.
Okay,
I mean, it was.
I just wanted to save you from possibly you getting worked up about something that wasn't a problem to begin with. Anyway.
Well, okay. Maybe he didn't upload videos to YouTube, but still, he constantly makes selfie videos about him in his Spider-Man form as established in the opening scene of this goddamn movie.
And he uses that. Well, we come across it later on when his suit files, and yes, he is not Spider-Man, he's Spider-Bot.
Yeah.
His suit files show him like video. Well, he didn't know he was video cameraing himself, but just him in the Spider-Man mask doing like impressions. Oh yeah, funny. He does an impression of Thor, and the suit has to say for him, "Oh, your impressions are funny."
Oh my god, that fucking AI.
Karen.
We'll get to her later.
Okay.
Let me just I just want to finish answering the question of like what makes him such a shitty superhero is just the fact that if you watch this movie, besides the two scenes that we mentioned, him in the ATM robbery and the final confrontation with him and Vulture,
The plane fight.
yeah, he constantly needs help from outside sources all around him. He doesn't know what to do. He's unprepared for every situation. He needs guidance in every aspect.
Again, this is attributed to the younger age they put him in. With the other movies, he was already smart enough to know what he was doing. He was a senior in high school going on to college.
But see, that's the thing. Why isn't he spending most of his time training? Why isn't he spending more time getting used to these gadgets apparently that Tony Stark has given him?
The only time that he takes is when he gets trapped in that bunker.
Yeah, for less than 30 minutes according to the fucking AI.
Well, he was waiting for 30 some minutes and then he was training after that.
What?
No, wait. Never mind. Yeah, he was only training for 30 minutes.
Okay, so it seems less like an actual superhero bettering himself and more just kind of some stupid kid who found a new toy.
Yeah, let's see what this does. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah, see, that's my problem, is that he, as a hero, he's really just incapable of doing anything. And, it's not... you could say his heart is in the right place. He at least wants to help. He wants to try and help, but he doesn't understand the consequences of being so shit at everything. That's my problem, is that Spider-Man isn't supposed to be shit at everything. He's not supposed to be this completely worthless dipshit of a hero.
Okay, I didn't think he was a dipshit of a hero because at some points he actually did... Well... One thing that redeemed him, like, almost from this entire movie was, again, the plane fight. Because he doesn't have his suit. And yes, I hate the idea that his suit is basically just a skin-tight version of Jarvis.
The Iron Man suit.
It's a female Jarvis because it's a female voice. Why a female voice to begin with? That's a little bit weird.
Because it's more appealing to the younger.
Giving it to a young boy. And he just comes up with the name Karen out of nowhere, and we're like, okay, what's the importance of that name? We're never told. But yeah, I hate the idea of just the suit in general because it's telling him what to do instead of Spider-Man actually relying on his intelligence. Peter Parker is renowned for how smart he is, for how intelligent he is.
Yes.
The only way that we're shown that is because, he's good at an academic decathlon. And he answers science questions off of a whim even when he's sleeping.
Right. And it's not that Spider-Man never uses technology. In fact, he uses technology a lot. I mean, in the actual comics, his web slingers were made by him. I know the Sam Raimi films kind of tried to retcon it into, like, actual superpowers, but initially...
In my opinion, a change for the better, because then that just goes straight down to powers.
It doesn't, for me, it doesn't bother me. I can go either way with it. I just hate the fact that it's apparently the creation of Tony Stark. Like,
again, Tony Stark branding, merchandising. Yep. Everyone think of Iron Man for the rest of the time.
Yeah, so that's...
So I hate the suit because, because of the AI and it's telling him what to do. In the other movies, he would, and correct me if I'm wrong from the comics, he would still rely on his own intelligence in order to be able to figure out everything.
But also his spider sense.
That is true. He doesn't have spider sense in this.
He doesn't. That's probably his most valuable asset, because it's not just like a...
It's one of the quotes from the comics. My spidey sense is tingling.
Yeah, it's not just an alarm like tells you danger's there. I mean, it gives it... the Sam Raimi films did a fantastic job of showing that it gives him complete, omnipresent knowledge of his surroundings. He doesn't have that here. He just has a fucking AI that says, okay, there are 3 targets. I'll lock onto it for you. It's like, oh, cool. Thanks, Karen.
Find all the strong points on the ferry. Like, even, okay, that's directly comparable to Spider-Man 2 from the subway chase scene.
Yes.
He knows where to sling all of his webs in order to get resistance to stop a speeding train.
Yes.
Jeez. But
it's not like Superman flew down and it's like, it's okay, I'll help you, son.
Okay, who, big giant head, tell me where to, like, find the closest access point to save this person.
Yeah, that's my thing. It takes so much away from the character when he's so incapable of doing anything and has to rely on everybody else. How does that make for a cool superhero? Really? Even Batman, who has to rely on gadgets and occasionally has to rely on like Alfred or Oracle, he uses his intelligence. Yes, he's still, like, if you take those things away, he's still a very capable individual. The same thing goes for Iron Man. You know, Iron Man himself did not initially start off as this sort of demigod of a human being. He was just someone with the right smarts and ingenuity, and also a lot of tenacity,
a lot of money to come up with gadgets.
Well, and a lot of money too. You know, that's kind of a superpower. But seriously, that's what drew people to Iron Man in the first place. Now that he just everything just kind of goes his way because he wills it, because he's basically a god in this universe now. I hate that. I really fucking hate that. Something else brought over from Iron Man 3 that makes an appearance in this movie is unmanned Iron Man suits.
You hated that idea?
I absolutely hated that. As a superhero, you are committing to the idea of inconveniencing yourself for the betterment of others. When it's like just a beep, boop, beep, okay, go save the people there. I'm just gonna kick back and drink some wine. Fuck you.
He's at a charity event or something in a foreign country.
Yeah. And fuck you.
He unwillingly, or not necessarily unwillingly, but like effortlessly saves Peter from nearly drowning in a lake.
So we've talked a lot about what I hate about this movie up to this point. I'm kind of going in circles. Let's at least talk about something I liked, because there is at least one good aspect to this movie.
The villain.
Yes, Michael Keaton, which is the most entertaining thing for me is continually thinking about Birdman. It really is, because
that's all you could think about.
That's all I could think about, because if you remember in Birdman, towards the end of the movie, the guy's like, okay, actually, earlier in the movie, he talks about maybe we should get with Tony Stark, you know, and be in one of those Avenger movies, which is pretty much exactly what ends up happening here. His superhero side of him is talking to himself. He's like, yeah, we'll be in one of those big bulgy Hollywoods. The next time you go, it'll explode into 1,000,000 eardrums.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen Birdman.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, it's such a good movie. Check it out. And once you see it, you'll wonder, was this a setup? Was this Michael Keaton? Was that basically his audition video for this movie?
He was predicting his own future.
Yep. It's kind of crazy. But even despite that, as a villain in this movie, he's pretty good.
Good origin story, good motivation, good reasoning for his wrongdoings, and he's intimidating.
And an actual presence. See, what I've hated about most Marvel movie villains up to this point is that they lack the bare essential of what makes a good villain, and that's intimidation. They are worthless. They can't kill the superhero for the life of them, and they can't intimidate anyone. You honestly, they couldn't intimidate a retarded hippo. A retarded hobo. Not hippo. Fuck! I screwed up that line.
Well, you could try and entertain a retarded hippo before he tries to eat you.
Sorry, I meant to say retarded hobo, but in this, yeah, basically he's got everything down, and I appreciate the return of Michael Keaton into superhero movies because I, among many people, think he is definitely the best Batman to date.
Oh, by far, he's the best Batman because he gets Batman down as well as Bruce Wayne, whereas others do better at Bruce than the Bat himself.
Yeah, and it's surprising too because Vulture was never really a standout villain for me in the Spider-Man.
They don't even directly say his name in this. They don't even say his real name.
In a passing, yeah, it's in a passing note. It's like I caught the Spider-Man.
I caught this vulture-looking guy.
Yeah.
Which is a reference to earlier in the movie when he tried to describe it to Happy after he drowned. Wait, no, didn't drown. So, actually, never mind. I lost track of the movie timeline.
Yeah, and the final confrontation between him and Spider-Man is pretty good. We've been saying that throughout this review
because they're fighting on a fucking speeding plane.
Yeah,
when Superman doesn't have his suit, that's ballsy.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yes,
not Superman.
Well, that's. God damn it.
That's okay. I screwed up too. So, but yeah, it's an intense action scene. It's cool. I mean, Spider-Man's kind of out. I like that Spider-Man's kind of out of his element here. That they're like high in the air and he doesn't have any buildings to swing on or anything. The ending bit there's like
they actually crash on a beach, which looks great.
Yeah. The ending bit, the like twist on the fight is pretty cool, and I like it, and it's one of the moments that makes Spider-Man look far more heroic than he's been in this entire movie. So I really wish there were more moments like that throughout this movie and not just one at the end, but still I appreciate it being here regardless.
What are you talking about? They couldn't have actual heroism in this superhero movie. They need to fill it in with the goddamn terrible comedy relief.
Oh my god, yeah. So
they have the funny fat friend in this movie.
Yes,
the
Asian me.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
It's okay. There you go. I said it for you. It's Asian.
Hobson, you're missing Asian you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
We're not against funny sidekicks. There can be great ones.
Well, you have to show me that there's more point to them than goddamn comedic relief. It is the crudest way to add comedy to a movie, is to add this one character that can't do a fucking thing, but add worthless, cringy, especially not funny comedy to the situation.
Again, the only good thing he does is at the end of it.
One good thing at the end.
He's the guy in chair that even he points out as a stereotype.
He's the guy. He's the police guy over the radio. It's like, oh, go here. He's heading down this street. Go there. Well, that again doesn't make up for all the other bullshit we've had to put through. With
He asks the annoying questions. He tries to put the loser turned hero into the spotlight by saying, oh yeah, this guy knows the famous person.
Yeah, trying to blow your cover. Honestly, I would grab you by your fat neck and ring it.
Choke slam.
Yes. You understand you are putting me and my family in danger by saying that. Stop it.
And it's all just to get a girl.
Yeah. Which I was getting mad in my seat, anticipating getting mad in my seat before things played out, but there was a few times in this movie where he was almost going to blow his entire cover, reveal himself to be Spider-Man over really petty bullshit.
Yeah, even in the first Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, he did his best to cover up his identity.
Right.
Even when his crush Mary Jane throws herself on him.
Yeah. Or, that's the thing. When you're a hero, you have to sacrifice stuff, okay? Whether it be your popularity, whether it be not really popularity, sorry, your reputation,
yep,
your friends and
free
stuff.
will.
Yes, okay, that is the stuff, and you could play to that. They could absolutely play that, like Sam Raimi.
Especially, again, with this movie trying to hammer in because of his age. Sacrificing stuff at a young age is one of the hardest things ever.
Yes, but they don't do it well in this movie. They mostly play it as comedy. Huh, where did Pete go? Oh, that fucking loser. Penis Parker, am I right?
When I say penis, you say Parker. Penis.
Any opportunity this movie has to do something good, it will mostly just smother it under really shitty comedy.
And the stereotypical bully, which is a stereotype in itself, but it can be done like for comedic purposes. He takes down the comedic bully in the first Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but this one, the supposed bully is on the decathlon team with Peter. And he's a complete fucking wiener as well, even though he constantly, again, calls Peter Penis Parker. And he could obviously...
I'm pretty sure if you're trying to make puns out of someone's name, you're the one who should be getting bullied.
Exactly. This kid is a loser, and he's trying to point out that someone else is a bigger loser over him. Peter's a pussy if he doesn't just straight up go up to that guy and slap him in the face.
Yeah.
Because what is he gonna do? Talk his way out of saying, "Oh my God, you're an asshole." Yeah, you're a fucking like pussy ass bitch if you can't back up what you say. Because that's what like the stereotypical bullies can do. If they say they're gonna kick your ass, they're gonna kick your ass. They don't need to rely on their words because they're stereotypically gigantic.
I take it from experience. A lot of bullying on my part. I don't bully people, but I got bullied a lot. I want to make that clear.
Oddly enough, I did get bullied as well.
Bullies are mostly all talk.
They are all talk.
They can't back up a fucking thing. In fact, I barely even had to throw any punches in my school days. All it took was one trip to the principal's office. So,
well, that got into a bit of history. Anyway, but yeah, the fucking bully that they try and have in this is fucking pointless and stupid, and it ultimately just ends up being annoying. And the love interest is only around so that there can be a twist for the movie.
Which I'll admit is a twist I didn't see coming, and it's not terrible. Granted, if it weren't for it, the love interest would be completely worthless in this movie and go absolutely nowhere.
They don't even kiss.
You know, again...
But then again, that just goes down to Marvel and its franchising by just saying, oh yeah, Peter liked this girl, she's moving to Oregon, better wait for when he actually tries to get real interests, like maybe Mary Jane or maybe Gwen Stacy, but you're gonna have to pay us another time.
Or maybe Michelle. Yeah. Oh, God, Michelle. Michelle's one of the other really shitty comedic reliefs in this movie. The kind who's like,
oh yeah,
she's secretly obsessed with Peter, but tries to play it off as I don't like you.
She's the female hipster douche.
Yes,
she's got the like tattered up clothing, the weird hair, the I don't give a fuck attitude. Like nothing else interests me. This is all garbage. That's all she is. Yeah, these like side characters are all one note, and everybody gives shit for the Sam Raimi movies having random ass side characters, but at least they had a presence, but weren't
intrusive.
As,
they were not intrusive. That's the worst kind of comedic relief, is when they are worthless and intrusive. And I absolutely hate comedic reliefs. I really do. I mean, you guys can think I hate all comedy. I don't. I'm very picky when it comes to comedy, but comedic reliefs, I will say, is the crudest and worst way to add comedy to a movie.
Are there actual good, in your opinion, are there any rare good comic reliefs?
I'll be honest, good comedic reliefs aren't even comedic reliefs. They're characters.
Yeah.
They have a place in the world. They have personalities, traits, and uses outside the realm of comedy. Usually
that they happen to be funny.
Yeah. They just happen to have a higher sense of humor than everybody else. And that for me isn't really a comedic relief. You might say in a general sense it is, but
but then they transcend the brand of comedic relief.
yeah. Comedic relief, in my opinion, is a character that is worthless, completely artificially designed to spew as much comedy as they can. And Marvel movies love these.
Well, because then it can just
both Thor movies had a lot of these.
Well, I haven't seen the second Thor, but the first Thor I actually thought was kind of funny, mostly because it was the fish out of water concept,
which I also don't really like very much.
I'm okay with the fish out of water when they actually take advantage of it, and like when they actually drug up Thor, hit him with a car, and
well, okay, I guess occasionally there were some funny things in Thor involving that.
Exactly.
I did like the
we drank, we fought, we made his ancestors proud. Oh!
That was pretty good.
Boilermakers for days.
Yeah, but as is, honestly, this is just yet another crappy ass Marvel movie for me, and it stings even more because of how much I love Spider-Man, and just how far they fucked him up in this movie. What little good it has didn't make up for it. And really, most of my complaints could be said for most Marvel movies.
Can you translate, or can you at least understand or explain why you think mainstream audiences would like this? Because again, this has a 92% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
The reason is because it is stupid simple. It is very easy to understand concepts. At no point does it ever try to challenge its audience. It just whatever it can do, like above average good, normal, it smothers in comedy. And mainstream audiences love comedy. They love comedy and action just
because it's lighthearted and it doesn't challenge you at all.
Yes, and I understand that a lot of comics had a lot of that. A lot of action, a lot of comedy. I don't have anything against it, but they weren't to the point of being stupid. They weren't most of the good ones at least weren't stupid simple. And there was a lot more things going for them than just big name actors coming in to say stupid lines, and they had more than shitty comedic relief characters, and they had more than
random supposed comedic Easter eggs.
Yep, their heroes did a lot more, and it just
it's all branding and advertising. It's a fucking business.
It really is at this point. And I said this back before the original Avengers, that these movies feel so like artificial that they're practically just coming off an assembly line.
Again, they gotta shit one of these fuckers out every year.
Yeah,
possibly two of them a year now.
And I'm tired. And I'm really tired of saying, as much as people are. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. As much as people are tired of hearing me say the same complaints about these movies over and over again and wish I could just shut up and like them, I'm tired of it too. I really am. And that's why I'm standing by it. This is unless some like major geological event happens with these movies, I'm done. I'm not seeing Marvel movies in theaters anymore.
You're making your documentation right here. You're swearing off Marvel movies.
I say unless something big happens, like holy shit, I have to see that. I at this point, not at least in the near future, with like Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, neither of those movies interest me. So I could say,
Black Panther. Well, okay, I will give Black Panther a chance because it's a black superhero, and that hasn't been done since Blade? I wouldn't say Spawn, because that's from a burn victim.
I mean, if that's enough to interest you, sure, but I can already see how how badly they're gonna fuck that up. They're gonna have so many bad black jokes and the sort of like tribal jokes, and just it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah. I can't even do a good racist joke.
That's okay. Neither will that movie. So I'm saying this right now. Chances are, if we're gonna do Marvel reviews in the future, it's probably just going to be Tom. Either maybe we could do like a double feature review, like I talk about the movie I saw that night, and you talk about the movie you saw that night.
But right now you're swearing off Marvel.
Right now, I'm just gonna say I'm taking a break from Marvel.
MCU.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. I suppose television-wise, there's some stuff that's still interesting, like the Daredevil series,
yeah.
and the upcoming what is it, Defenders?
I think so.
Which is like Avengers, but with the TV characters.
But mainly, I was gonna say like Deadpool.
Well, okay, Fox Marvel is different. I'm gonna say Fox Marvel is separate.
So you're saying you like Fan Four Stick and Fantastic Four?
Fan Four Stick? What?
The 2015 Fantastic Four.
No, but I liked Logan. I mean, I thought Deadpool was okay.
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past was okay. I mean, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say I'm done with Marvel. But let's just put it this way: you're probably not going to be seeing me as frequently as we used to with these, because I don't have it much in me anymore.
Just like Toy Story 3. I'm sorry, cowboy. They broke me. That's basically what this is to you.
Yeah.
And granted, I didn't find it as bad as he did, but then again, it's not very good. Like, again, the suit, the overall suit, and when Spider-Man is on screen, he looks great. Whenever he actually is doing stuff, it looks cool. But again, okay, I actually thought him going from like loser to superhero, when he was actually doing superhero stuff that was actually succeeding, it looked fine. But everyone complains about fucking Tobey Maguire like sounding like a fucking weakling and just being like a shitty hero. He is actually macho compared to this fucking kid. Yeah. But, and granted, ages differing, and whatever.
I want to make clear too, I do think Tom Holland could be a fantastic Spider-Man and Peter Parker. But he needs to be written better. Yes. Most of my problems with this rendition of Spider-Man comes down to the writing.
Six fucking writers on this.
6. Good God.
Why do you need to pay so many people to write one simple story when you hardly pay anybody to write one script for an actual smart movie? Because that's how Hollywood works, right?
Yeah. You'd only have to pay one writer and one director for Ant-Man, but oh no, we couldn't do that. That might have turned out good.
But, yeah, I didn't think, again, the comedy is really bad. Some of the characters are really, really annoying. What makes it, like, passable for me, again, are the handful of action scenes where Spider-Man actually proves himself, and an actual good villain for him to go up against. And usually if your hero isn't engaging enough, you rely on the villain. This had at least had one good thing out of the two.
Yeah, we can give it that. It's the most credit I can give this movie.
But fuck anybody who says that this is better than the Sam Raimi movies.
Best ever has been thrown around a lot for every Marvel movie that's come out post-Avengers.
What's the term that you use? Peggy Sue? Mary Sue? Something Sue.
Mary Sue?
Well, like a term that's constantly used, thrown out. Like, this is a something Sue.
Is it Mary Sue? That's a term that's overused to describe characters that people don't like because they're too perfect in every way, in their respected universe, but, I don't know how that applies to this.
Never mind.
I say that every Marvel movie that's come out from Avengers and beyond has been touted as the greatest comic book movie ever made in the existence of time and space. They might as well never make another comic book movie ever again.
But they're obviously going to, because they make a fucking $1 billion every time one of these fuckers comes out.
Yeah, so for me the hype and the praise doesn't exist anymore because you've blown your load. You've said that about every goddamn Marvel movie ever made,
which also results in no tension whenever the superhero's life is threatened, because we already know the background and the actual makings of these, that we know they're not gonna die.
Yeah.
So why are we even caring if they live or not? Because we already know they're gonna live. And they need to make more money.
And I guess I can give slight remedial amount of credit to this movie. They didn't do the death fake out that they've done in every Marvel movie up to this point.
Faking out Iron Man, I was about to say Captain Morgan.
That would be a great superhero.
Hello, everybody. Oh, don't worry, I'll just stab some of you.
Yeah.
Someone should make a superhero movie now called Captain Morgan, where it's just a constantly alcoholic pirate saving civilizations.
That'd be funny.
Hey, satire right there of superhero movies. Captain Morgan and his dead soldiers.
Yep. Well, what are we seeing next time?
No idea, but that's fucking fine, because we like to live on edge.
Yep.
Meaning I'm lazy and not fully committed to planning. So
yeah, I think it's better that way. Remember when we said we'd see Fast and Furious together?
At least one of us saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't need to see it because it's a bland piece of shit.
Okay. Well, so that's that.
You might not like our opinions, but we don't have to like the fucking movie we saw.
It paid for the tickets. Damn right I expect more.
Look, let's just hope Deadpool 2 is better.
Yeah, all right. There's at least one Marvel movie I'm looking forward to. Deadpool 2.
Me too, because I fucking love the first Deadpool.
Yeah. But I'm just going to say it right here. Probably not going to see me much anymore for these Marvel movies. I just don't have it in me.
Fuck it.
I'll see you
Later.